Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. And I have to start with the Brozovic, the epic Brozo celebration, because he was the guy. He's the guy today that brought us this win. Inter 3, Sheriff 1. My prediction, I couldn't get 3 or 4 predictions in a row correctly. My streak has ended. It looked like it could have been 2-0 like I predicted, but in the end, it was 3-1. Sloppy goal at the end conceded, we must say. Inter's defense just fell asleep on that Sheriff goal. I think that was probably their only shot on target, wasn't it, or something? But yeah, how are you guys doing? It feels good to be, talking once again after a good Champions League performance. Because let's not lie, in that first half, did it not look like it was going to be one of those performances that we've seen so many times by Inter in the Champions League? Shots over shots, chances after chance, and really good chances, sitters after sitter, and it just wasn't going in. But Brozo came through the crocodile, and I'm seeing, he's getting quite rightly all the love in the comment section. The crocodile, Brozo. Um, Max says he's been man of the match 3 out of 4 matches in the UCL so far. Yep, that's true. That is true. I think one of them probably should have been Skriniar, but we're not going to argue with this guy. But give this guy the contract. Like, give him what he wants. If he's wanting 6 million, give him this guy 6 million. This guy's playing. He's probably been. I mean, we'll probably chat next month when when we go through a half point season review when the when the winter break comes. But Brozovic at the moment, he's right up there for possibly being our player of the season until now, because this guy has not had many matches off, and he's been in the Champions League, especially the leader. And once again today, not just because of the goal, and not just because he got the assist for Alexis in the end as well. And actually he was involved in all 3 goals, but even before any of the goals, he was the one that kept the team ticking. He was the one that, was just passing and even stopping counterattacks. So today, we usually, talk about the man of the match and we can discuss, but today, I think we can all agree, as Benjamin says here, Brozovic, man of the match. And what do you guys think? I think that might have been Inter's best ever performance. Not ever as in ever, but as in since we come back to the Champions League. I feel this has been the most professional, patient, and then in the end ruthless. I mean, it could have been more ruthless. It could have been like 5, 6, 7-0, to be honest, the amount of chances we had. But it wasn't like the past Inter where, after that first half, they didn't get frustrated. They didn't start to, concede chances. They kept going. They didn't have a chance. Sheriff, I felt bad for the guys. They defended quite well in terms of, we knew they were complete terrorists. But we gave them no chances on the counter attack. So maybe that goal at the end kind of ruins it. But I felt like that was a really, really mature European performance that we don't usually see from Inter. Why are you saying that, Future Hendricks, that Vidal probably won't start the Milan? Is it because you feel like he's played too much today, or did you see, or was it that little? He looked like he got a little bit injured at the end or something. Let me know why you think that. Benjamin says there's a question who should start. Our starting force for the Milan match. Lautaro wasn't convincing. Yeah, Lautaro hasn't been convincing for a little while now. I believe it's been 5 matches since he hasn't scored. Even might be even 6, because the commentator was saying, I think he said either 5, that his matches that he hasn't scored. So yeah, Lautaro's form is a little bit worrying right now, especially because he has to be our main guy. And Dzeko as well. He had a bad match against Udinese, and today he wasn't great either, but he had some moments. That chest control in the first half, guys, from Dzeko. I need to point out there was a ball from Di Marco, I think, pinged into Dzeko. Dzeko just chested it down, amazing touch, and then he couldn't take it past the keeper 1v1. But Dzeko should have scored in the first half. I think Dzeko had the best chance in the first half. That corner, literally 2 yards out. I know it was like slightly, the angle was a bit tight, but he had to score that one. Lautaro had a chance where he missed the ball completely. Inzaghi is a legend to play Lautaro with Correa. I just want to see it once. Yeah, I mean, he did try it before the international break. He did try a couple of times, but just for a few minutes, or like Correa would get injured, or, it was just it was a bit cursed. But yeah, we do need to see that Cola partnership still from the start of a match for a prolonged period of time. What's up, everyone in the house? I'd like to be Brozo for a day. Yeah, everyone wants to be Brozovic for a day, and Epic Brozo for president. And did you guys see for Brozovic's goal actually that Nicolo Barella Brozovic? We know those two guys are like, best friends in the team. Like, look at them and having a go here. But did you see Barella was basically did the crocodile? Look at these guys have got a telepathic connection because Barella already knew what Brozovic wanted to do. Oh, by the way, that's a nutmeg from Brozovic on that goal. Nutmeg the guy there. Great finish by Brozovic, cutting back in. Sold a dream for two guys, but Barella and him are so funny. Let's look at it from a different angle. Oof, that's a lovely goal from Brozovic. Really, really good goal. And that's his first ever goal in the Champions League, Brozovic, believe it or not, which is quite a surprising stat. But when you think about it, Inter in the Champions League since Brozovic has been there, they haven't been particularly great either, have they? And then it was great to see Alexis coming on. What a finish as well. And again, Brozovic was involved. He was involved in all three goals, Brozovic. So his man of the match is completely deserved. And look at that. You can see there in the 81st minute, Inter had 99 kilometers covered. So they almost had 5 kilometers more covered than Sheriff, which is actually surprising because usually the team that doesn't have the ball, usually the one that has to run around a lot, usually covers more ground. But I guess they didn't really press much. They were just kind of standing around in their spots. So it probably does make sense. But yeah, really, that's why I really like this performance. No one slacked off really. Everyone just stayed focused. Well, apart from that in the last minute when they scored the goal, but everyone stayed focused. No one let their guard down. No one underestimated Sheriff. And yeah, the group situation now must be looking a lot better, right? Like, what's the group table looking like now? Yeah, now we go second in the group table, which is really, really important. That puts us in the driver's seat now. Once again, we're in a better position now than we have been in the last few years, where we've had to rely on other people in other matches. Whereas this time, everything is in Inter's control. You go to Shakhtar are coming to San Siro next time round. You get the win there, and you've pretty much, you're pretty much there. And then you just need to get a decent, you can just get a draw at Real Madrid or something. So this is what we wanted, and this is what we actually expected with Inzaghi and this group as well. We had the slightly easier group than last year. I mean, Sheriff have been a surprise, but I said before this match, that initial stage of, exuberance and, beating Real Madrid and Shakhtar like the first ever time in the Champions League, all that kind of stuff is worn off now. Everyone knows what their game plan is. They're probably, reverted to the mean. So yeah, this was a much more manageable group when it came out, even though it's still not an easy group. But this is what we expected. And Inzaghi, yeah, fair play to him. Someone said at the beginning, Future Hendrick said, yeah, this team plays better football than Conte's team. I think it's hard to argue that. I mean, in terms of in big matches, we can't say that because we haven't. Good football for me is winning football as well. It's not just pretty football, but we do play some nice, attractive football at times, especially now under Inzaghi. So, and it's much more European, and that's what we talked about when we signed Inzaghi. Why Inzaghi is a good pick, and with what he did with Lazio, with the only season that Lazio were in the Champions League. His style of play is more suited to the European style of football, the Champions League style of football. So yeah, happy to see everything that's going on. Inter says the first half is a good condom advertiser for Inter. Yeah, we were just firing blanks. I mean, it just wouldn't go in. It's crazy. It looked like voodoo. But luckily, the mad genius that Brozovic is came up trumps. Shama said Alexis broke your prediction. Yeah, man, he did break my prediction, but I mean they scored as well in the end. So I'd rather it be 3-1 than 2-1 in the end. And a few of you guys predicted 3-1. To be fair, Boca in the house is all good win, very good win. Especially, of course, let's not forget, guys, next match, Milan derby. So it's so vital that we have this win, giving us the confidence going in. And it looks like, I mean, fingers crossed still that there was no Vidal injury, there was no one else injured. I watched the AC Milan match actually earlier, and Calabria had to come off with some sort of injury at halftime for Kalulu. And Tonali, when he came off around the 60th minute, he had some sort of ice pack on his calves as well. So they've had some injury issues, Milan, and if you're missing, they're starting right back. They're already missing Teo because of for a red card. If they're missing Tonali as well, we don't want to see players injured, but that's good news for Inter if those guys are injured. Jerome says Brozovic should earn 7 million per year. I mean, he's not even asking for 7 million; he's asking for 6. So yeah, if he's asking for 6, give him the 6. Jake and House, what's up, brother? Yeah, actually, good point, Ahmad. We talked about Dumfries and the Udinese match, a little bit up and down match, but he made a good impact today, and I think he defensively was solid, and yeah, I think he was better than Darmian. Darmian today, that's why I wanted Dumfries to start, because I felt like he had a good match against Sheriff first time round, and then I want, because I know that I want Darmian to start the derby, so I thought Dumfries should have started this anyway, and I think today he was better in my opinion than Darmian. What do you guys think about Dumfries today? The Chilean duo are amazing. Wait, one thing, guys, we have found for sure now our starting midfield. Like, we've been toying. I think Inzaghi's been toying with it the whole season. We know Brozovic, Barella. Those are the two. And then the third one we've been struggling with, with Hakan, of course, deserves his chance. Sensi just not fit. Gagliardini, yeah, we don't need to talk about it. Vecino's not been that good. But Vidal was great against Sheriff last time round. And today, once again, he was really good today, in my opinion. He was also heavily involved in a lot of the chances we created, the goals that we created. I believe he got the assist for the Brozovic goal, and he could have got more assists. Lautaro should have put away the assist in the first half. He even got some shots on target without. I think that is our stop. I think for now, that is definitely, I mean, I already said it, that it probably is. But now today's proved it, because the way Vidal, Barella, and Brozovic controlled that midfield today was close to perfection. They didn't let their midfield get a sniff today, and yeah, it's props to Alexis with how he came on. It's frustrating for Alexis once again. I feel like today, I felt like he should have started the Udinese match, and today I feel like he should have started. And the way he's playing, his performances deserve to be starting. But fair play to him. He's still putting his work in to convince Inzaghi. And I wouldn't be against starting Alexis in the derby, to be honest, because the way he's playing, his form at the moment is really good. One more win and we're through. Let's wrap it up. Yeah, exactly. We have to get that one more win against Shakhtar especially we need to beat those guys. We need to get revenge on those guys for what they did to us last season. Some condom company can sponsor Inter for that first half. Yeah, Sharif. I mean, you got the same name as Sheriff, but yeah, they had no chance today. They had no chance. Yeah, I like Mr. Alan Pope. Lautaro is, I mean, for any striker, goal drought is worrying, but especially with Lautaro, we know he can get a little bit, aggressive and a little bit, hot-headed. But he goes through patches like this. He went through a similar patch last season. I'm confident, and usually he plays well against Milan as well. So I'm confident this guy. I would start Lautaro against Milan, because this guy, we know this guy is usually a big match player. And yes, very good point, Indra. Let me bring it up if I manage to get it. The quotes Inzaghi, Ausilio spoke before the match. Usually is Marotta who speaks before the match, but today Ausilio spoke, and yeah, he confirmed. Oh, there is the Brozovic man of the match. Once again, he has to speak to the to the cameras. He's not really a big guy on being interviewed and speaking publicly, but there he is. Where is it? Oh yeah, look, Vidal's quote before the match as well was very, this is why Vidal was so important mentality-wise. If we think about Milan today, we are dead, and we didn't think about Milan. We thought about Sheriff and making sure that they are done and dusted, which they did. Here is Ausilio's quote today in terms of the renewals. He said, especially with Barella, we are in the details, so it's pretty much done. We're talking about formalities. So Nicolo Barella will be new contract soon at Inter. He will be staying for sure. Brozovic, we have enormous desire and pleasure to extend it for longer. We will meet soon. We want him to be part of the project. We'll do it in days. Yeah, so that's great news that they're looking to get both of those done. And he always actually, they asked him about, are you scared about Conte coming in for Inter players in January? And by the way, if you haven't checked it out, I made a video reacting to Conte at Spurs. My thoughts and what players I think he would be interested in from Inter. But yeah, he said, no, there's no intentions about selling anyone in January. But at least he didn't lie. Usually Auxilio is one of the guys that he's usually he just lies. You shouldn't believe what Auxilio says, but he says he didn't make any false promises. That in June we will make the assessment. If they come in June, and that is the truth. If someone, as I said all the time, if the right money comes along, Inter would have to sell pretty much. But he also says they would want to improve Inter, not weaken them. But yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, we saw what happened this past summer, but at least yeah, the Barella news is great. The Brozovic news is great, and hopefully that gets wrapped up. Yeah, the high press today was really good. We didn't let those guys breathe. They just had to punt long balls up, and yeah, nothing came from that. Benjamin agrees, probably our best performance in the UCL. Yeah, I think I would say so, especially that second half. Vidal gave us good stability in midfield for me. Should start the derby. Yeah, I think he's the favorite now. I think he has to be. I mean, I still do want to start Hakan in the derby. I don't know. I just have this feeling that Hakan in the derby, even though he's not really, he doesn't strike me as that type of big mentality player that he would relish being booed and then kind of shush the Milan fans because they are playing at home. There will be more AC Milan fans than Inter fans on Sunday because it's at home. But that is our best midfield right now. Vidal has to be the star. We have to start the best team. But at the same time, I do want to see Hakan in front of like the Curva Sud and just scoring like a long range strike against them and just celebrating in front of them. Yeah, I agree, Castelman. He keeps proving that he should be starting. But it's just so difficult for Inzaghi at the moment. It was Correa as well coming. He had his 2 goals against Udinese, so it's becoming so difficult for Inzaghi. It's a big headache, but it's a nice headache to have. Barella wasn't bad, I would say, but he wasn't great today. He was a bit, but he kept things ticking. He wasn't trying too much like he was in the Udinese match. But yeah, it wasn't definitely one of Barella's best matches. Yeah, I don't have doubts that Brozovic will extend, but it's just in football you never know, especially these days, modern football, you just never know. But everything points, when you see him on social media in general, he just seems to be very happy in Milan. But I just you guys know better than if you've watched football for ages now, you just know that Lukaku was a great example, wasn't he? Without tackling his Gote, he's up there quality-wise with Brozo and Barella this season. Yeah, man, it's just only was more fit this season. But maybe now until the end of the season, hopefully he stays fit. But yeah, speaking of tackling, let's see, maybe I'm going to try to pull up some stats from who scored and see what the stats are looking like in terms of, let's see who scored, gave their man of the match to. Has to be Brozovic. Yep, 8.8 Brozovic. Second closest is Arturo Vidal. Martinez got 8.1. Wow. I think, yeah, his overall game today, Martinez, we have to say, though, he did miss, the chances and stuff, but overall game wasn't too bad. But 8.1 seems a bit, I don't know, a bit over the top for me from who scored there. Let's have a look who had the most total shots. Yeah, Lautaro had the most shots, 6, and he was unlucky. He did hit the post as well with one of them, and then Dzeko, Brozovic. Who had the most possession? Stefan De Vrij had 9%, and Brozovic, pass success. Yeah, well, those guys only had a few minutes. Let's see dribbles. Barella can read the most dribbles, apparently. Nice, and it's all from Inter players, which is really good to see. Aerials 1, De Vrij for Inter with the most tackles. Let's see, it must be Vidal, right? Vidal, yes, it is. Arturo Vidal with the most tackles, 4, and then Brozovic and Barella. So you see, Barella still, did his work defensively as well. And yeah, they're the players with the most dispossessed, once again, proving how well we pressed as a team. So yeah, really, really, really good to see overall. Yeah, even Ranocchia came on at the end, got some rest for De Vrij. Happy for Skriniar to get a goal as well. Yeah, overall, very good performance. Let's see what Sofa score gave the players. Yeah, Barcelona Brozovic man of the match here as well. And Vidal, yeah, it's quite similar ratings to be fair. And then the substitutes, Sanchez, yeah. No, I think I'm pretty happy with the rating. And Lautaro got a really high rating here as well. hit the woodwork, 72 pass accuracy. Yeah, he won a lot of duels today. 6 out of 10 duels that he won. Yeah, but I feel like a little bit higher than I think he deserves. But overall, it wasn't a bad performance. But what did you guys make of DiMarco? He was decent as well. I mean, I feel like today actually, with one thing I want to talk about, um, Inzaghi's game management. What did you guys make of Inzaghi's game management? Because I wasn't particularly happy with it. Like, why did Vidal, Brozovic, and Barella pretty much stay the whole game? Didn't they? Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. Our starting three midfielders did not get substituted. Um, DiMarco came off for Perisic, which is fine, but it was quite early on. I feel like we know Perisic is going to start the Milan derby, so that one was a little bit. That one was a little bit. I'm not sure about. And then keeping Lautaro and Dzeko on for quite a while. Sanchez and Correa in the end only got 10 minutes. So I feel like Inzaghi's game management today, I wasn't particularly impressed with it. What did you guys make of it? I think that's the only negative from today, because I feel like, especially people like Brozovic and Barella, who have been playing every single match with little rest, I feel like this, once again, it was the chance to give them a little bit of rest. So I am disappointed with Inzaghi. He's kind of starting to do some things. Like at the beginning, he was a little bit too haphazard with the substitutes. We were saying like, this guy is making substitutes too much. But now he's a bit like today reminded me a little bit of Conte. I was like, come on, man, like surely you can take one of these guys off. Bastoni a little bit shaky. I didn't think so today. I think he had a Dalma Traore, a tricky customer on that right hand side, and he or left hand side for us. He handled him quite well in my opinion, and good passing. And he had his last match against Udinese was really good. So I think Bastoni is back on the rise again for sure in the last few matches, in my opinion. I think Andanovic feels bad when the opponents nil. Hey man, today he couldn't do anything about that goal. That was right in the side netting, the goal. Like there's no way he was gonna stop that. But obviously he had to do the laser beam. Lautaro needs to be dropped, Tommy says. Been saying it, and I'm still saying it. I mean, he was dropped for the Udinese match, wasn't he? So it has been happening. But it's one of those things, though. Now, guys, he's our main guy this season. We've said since the start of the season, you have to give Lautaro trust, and especially in a big match against Milan, which is a team that usually he does well against. It's going to be hard to drop Lautaro. It's going to be hard. And as I said, overall today, I felt like his performance was pretty good. I think the goal just didn't come, and he's definitely a little bit off form in front of goal at the moment. But I personally just struggle to see. I just struggle to drop Lautaro myself at the moment. We all felt bad about poor Sheriff. You mean Brozovic ghosted for the win? What do you mean by that, Benjamin? At the end of the day, your prediction was wrong. We won 2 up. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Thanks for saving me. Jacko still believing, but Correa deserves a start, and Sanchez forcing the issue as well. Yeah, speaking of, like, how I said Lautaro plays good against Milan. You know who plays really well against Milan? Tucu Correa. And Milan fans call him Milan man for a reason. Like these guys, there's a joke in the Milan community. Let me show you like what I mean, because this guy always performs really well against the Milan. Like this guy is one of the few guys that's put Tomori on skates. Like when I posted this this video where he killed a Tomori and he went around Donnarumma, and he often scores against them. He's like Saturni on here saying Inter about to buy Milan man. And even here, Football Kareem says one MF getting into form right before we play that MF team. So he was talking about Correa when he scored last weekend. So he's a player that Milan fans fear, Tucu Correa. And it's like a silly way of thinking about things, but I think if a player, it's one of those things. If a player is good against a certain team, in my mind, like he should be. I'm tempted to have that Correa Lautaro starting up front, because they're both, players that usually play well against Milan. And yes, Koulibaly, I did watch the Milan match. They weren't great today. In the Serie A, they've been looking so good. Like, for me, they've been the best Italian team till now. But today, and in Champions League, they've only got 1 point. So hopefully they take that bad form into the match. Don't disrespect El Toro. Don't even need to say we need to drop him. Hey, we're getting some Lautaro defenders in the chat. Oh yeah, Football Worldwide in the house as well. Make sure you guys tune in for the Champions League show in 11 hours on Football Worldwide. So make sure you guys check it out. Always good content from those guys over there, Anthony, Bruno, and Jono. Make sure you guys check them out. After a bump, it took around the 75th minute, Vidal. Yeah, we'll have to see how serious that knock is. But he hasn't played that much football this season, Vidal. Even if he played 90 minutes today, he should be okay to start that match. And yeah, but that's the thing is, the Hakan, he's got that point to prove, hasn't he? Hey, we got Saturnian in the house. I just mentioned him actually. If you see Hakan as not started, do you think DiMarco should start ahead of Perisic in the derby? No. DiMarco, he still has something to prove to me, especially defensively, I think, and especially in big matches. Perisic, we know he's a big match player, and he usually has Calabria on toast. Perisic, he likes that matchup against Calabria usually. So I'm definitely starting Perisic against AC Milan for sure. Damn, who's Zoe saying Dumfries was the worst field player on the field? I disagree with that. I thought he was pretty decent. I thought he was better than Darmian when he came on. Hit that like button for sure. Yeah, thank you, I am Nate, for reminding me. I need to do those YouTuber things more often. Is the game against Shakhtar at home? Yes, the game against Shakhtar is at home. Kirby finally catching the stream. What's up, brother? Yeah, brother. The game plan today from Inzaghi, spot on. Just his game management, as I said, I didn't agree with it. Yes, Petros, I brought up the Barella dive and dunk for the Brozovic goal. You just missed it if you rewind. I brought it up on the screen, actually. Would love to see Vidal healthy and starting for most of the matches this season. I agree completely, bro. I completely agree, Zizo. You guys know, this is an Arturo Vidal fan club. This channel right here. This channel. We don't accept any Vidal slander. Even last season, I defended this guy till the end. Handanovic fumbling another clean sheet. Come on, man. You guys can't be surely blaming Handanovic. The guy he had nothing to do for the whole match, and then he couldn't have done anything about that goal anyway. Big win. Wish we would have gotten the clean sheet. Man, yeah, you guys know I love a bloody clean sheet, and I'm sure the guys, the defenders especially, would have loved the clean sheet. I think Skriniar would probably sacrifice his goal for a clean sheet, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just important is the result in the Champions League. That's all that matters. The 3 points. Skriniar just said that the team found the right balance and is defending well. That's what we've been saying on this channel as well, guys. We pointed it out when it wasn't going well, and we've pointed out the last few matches. Snud just pointed it out on his channel, on his Twitter as well, about how we've only conceded, and I mean, even today, once again today, the goal we conceded is from a set play, it's not from open play. Then the penalty against Juventus, the other goal that we've conceded, not in open play, and then the goal before that, Sheriff, a free kick from like 35 yards out. So the balance is definitely being found now. And even when these guys had counterattacks today, I was not worried. Like this season, the counterattacks have been worrying. In the first match against Sheriff, there was a lot of counterattacks that were very dangerous. But today I was chilling. I mean, there was that fear that maybe one of them would, they would get a dodgy goal, but actually practically there was actually not much to worry about today, and that is because of the newfound improved balance. We played both Barmian and Dumfries, so both would be fully fit for the derby, plus only 45 for Perisic. We are ready to own the derby. I like that positivity. Let's go, boys. I don't want to hear no negativity about the derby. We got to take those guys and got to show him who's the boss, who's the champions. Is it me or Dzeko lose the ball sometimes too easy? Yes, all of our strikers do sometimes. They try a lot, especially when they try to play one touch too much. Dzeko a few times tries to, because his technical ability is good, but sometimes I think he trusts it a little bit too much, where he passes it first time and it doesn't quite go to the target. So I agree. And today, as I said, it wasn't his best match once again, Dzeko. I think he does need. I think Dzeko is the one that needs to be dropped because I feel like he's a little bit gassed out, burnt out, which we were fearing at 35 years of age. That was bound to happen. That's that's the most important thing, Tommy. I always talk about that, don't I? As long as you're getting in the right positions, I'm not worried about certain player. With Dumfries as well, we're seeing, maybe his touch or his decision making at points hasn't been good, but he's getting into the right position, which means his movement is coordinated with the team. He's doing the right things. He's where he should be. He's just that final product isn't quite there. Lautaro, he's getting into today. He had the most shots, so he's getting into the right positions. But it's not just quite coming off. But that's the reason why I'm not worried about Lautaro too much. Are we worried about Lautaro if today he had a stinker in terms of link up play, his touch would have been off, or he didn't get any shot on goal? But no, Lautaro was actually, he was showing good things. Yeah, his dribbling was good as well today. He's taking people on. So yeah, there's obviously the drought, the goal drought is always worrying for a striker, but the signs are there that with Lautaro, he's not, completely off form. It's more just a goal scoring drought that he's going through at the moment. Yeah, he is probably a little bit of a bad habit under Inzaghi at the moment, the concentration. But let's not exaggerate. We used to do that under Conte as well a lot. Remember the against Roma is the example that comes to mind when we were winning 2-1 against Roma and we conceded like a similar last minute goal against Roma from a set piece. Like there's lots of examples. Is that 4 or 5 last month when we, that title charge where, we were just untouchable. But, the 1 year and a half of Conte, there was lapses of concentration a lot in this team. Yeah, I understand that he didn't want to risk it. But again, if you're bringing off Barella, I would say if you're bringing on a Gagliardini or someone like that, you're bringing on more defensive stability, if anything. So you're actually risking it a little bit less. And especially with Barella, like, he looks gassed out as well, poor guy. So I don't know. These guys seem like they do not trust anyone apart. Brozovic and Barella just seem too difficult for Inzaghi to take off. We gotta expose them exactly. We have to play Champions League football because clearly they can't handle Champions League football. So maybe we should play some Champions League music before we go out onto the pitch on Sunday. So these guys, we show them the levels. Badr, wow, that's a very controversial take that you take the 3 points in the Champions League over the derby. But I think the way that the table set up in the Serie A at the moment, we have to get, this is the point. This could be the turning point where, the season changes, because at the moment these Napoli and Milan are not dropping any points. So if we manage to, take 3 points against Milan or even, against Napoli, that changes the table completely. That changes the momentum. So, but yeah, of course, for how bad we've been in the Champions League, I said this season, I just want to get over the line. It's too embarrassing not getting over the group stage in the Champions League. It's just too much. Tucuman is ready to slap Ibra's ego in the derby. We need that ice cold inject celebration from Tucu in the derby, man. We need it. Like Julio Cruz was a Juve killer. Exactly, Theo. That's why, some of these things that, sound like silly reasoning, but I think they make sense. This is something we could talk about, later on in the season, Huyohan, but we've talked about in terms of, Kostic or these types of guys, Gosens, those are obviously the names that come to mind in terms of possible Perisic replacements. How is Vidal running like that 34? Well, he's finally fully fit. Last season he wasn't fully fit. He had a lot of injury issues last year. Conte forced him to play through some, he admitted himself that he wasn't fully fit. And this season he is, and he's got a lot more rest. This year he's hardly played, to be honest, apart from when he plays for Chile. So he is fresh at the moment. Hey, Anthony in the house. What's up, brother? I'm sure you did your own reaction. So make sure you guys check out Anthony's reaction on Inter Worldwide. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. Dumfries needs to be bought some milk or toy for Barella's children. Looks like Barella didn't trust Dumfries. Yeah. You can. I've been talking about a lot of the players like Barella. They don't seem to be trusting Dumfries yet in terms of when he's open, not passing to him. That's going to become with time. We saw that with Hakimi at the beginning as well. They didn't know how to serve Hakimi properly. Remember last year, the only guy who really at the beginning, the first few months, that seemed to really connect with Hakimi was Sanchez, who was able to serve Hakimi with those through balls. And then slowly players seem to learn that how you serve Hakimi. So with Dumfries as well, they just need to learn what is the best way to serve Dumfries. Jacko Gassau, yes sir. Lord Figo in the house. Massimo says he wants to see Alexis Lautaro for the derby. Feel like Tomori and Kier will struggle without a focal point to look out for. Yeah, that's something that's probably the partnership that I'm leaning towards. No reference points, but then we do need the midfielders really to make those runs into the box, because otherwise, the box is going to be empty, because we know Sanchez, to be fair, he did take his chance really well, but he's not really much of a goal threat anymore. So I wouldn't be against that. That's that duo up front, to be honest, in the derby. Yeah, some players are being overworked for sure. And that's the thing that Milan have been doing this well this season, in terms of they've been rotating their midfield a lot. Kessie he's not been the certain starter for them like he has been over the last few seasons. Tonali's come in, Benacer comes in, Krunic comes in. They've rotated their midfield a lot, whereas with us, even though we've got quite a big squad, Inzaghi's been reluctant to rotate, especially Barella and Brozovic, which is worrying. But our strikers have rotated a lot, our wing backs have rotated a lot, so the rest of the team is very fresh. The back line hasn't rotated a lot, but today, we're finally seeing, I think Inzaghi's starting to trust, the likes of Ranocchia and D'Ambrosio. Once again, Ranocchia came on today, which I think should happen more often if we're winning and in a comfortable position in matches. The next 3 games are at home. Adriel, I haven't checked, but I'm going to trust you on that one. Actually, let me just double check. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Milan derby, technically we're away, but yeah, obviously we're at home. And then against Napoli we're at home as well, and then Shakhtar we're at home as well. So technically you're not right, but yeah, practically you are right. Ibra's getting ready to say, which Milan team does Ibra play for? I'm waiting for one of his cringy quotes for sure. I know I'll have a preview stream before the derby. I want to know what is the best way to start it in the lineup. Abdullah, yeah, we'll talk about it in the coming days, but I think today's starting lineup, Perisic for Di Marco. I think that's the starting lineup. But personally, I am leaning to start a Correa or a Sanchez ahead of Dzeko for the derby. Sanchez looks for Dumfries in behind too, like he did with Hakimi. Yeah, Sanchez has just got that eye. He just looks for the through balls. That's why I love Sanchez. He's one of the few guys that we still have that that still has that creativity. DJ Nasco, Brozovic man of the match. That contract, sign the thing. Put it on the table. Let him put whatever number he wants to put on, up to 7 million, and make him sign it. Yeah, we need to learn to play more through balls, to be honest. But it's difficult in a match like today where the team is so deep. They're so deep. There's no space in behind, really. But in general, yeah, I think we need to use Dumfries how we used Hakimi. I know he's not as quick, but he thrives in space like Hakimi did. Tomori is a quick centre-back. Tuku and Lautaro better for pace and height rather than Sanchez and Dzeko. Yeah, exactly as well. You do need a little bit of pace, and Tuku will bring you that pace, as we've seen, for sure. I am less worried about Milan Apple special coming back from international break. Yeah. Guys, if we beat Milan and them Napoli, I'm telling you, we shake up the table. Exactly. Imagine we beat both of those teams. That's a massive statement to the Serie A. Like, are you forgetting about us? We're the Campioni, we're the Scudetto holders. Put some respect on our name. My prediction is that we draw one and win one, to be honest. I don't think we're going to win both, but if we win both, and then that's Inzaghi proving the big match doubts that we have at the moment. But I do still have those big match doubts under Inzaghi, so I am not 100% confident. But I think 4 points from those two games. That's a good result. I'll take that if we get 4 points from those two games. But yeah, guys, 40 minutes for this post-match stream of Champions League. I hope you guys enjoyed. Brozovic, Crocodile, man of the match. No arguments there. We found our starting midfield today for sure. I think we know what our starting lineup is for the Milan match, but obviously we'll do a preview of that. I'll try to get an AC Milan fan onto the channel to discuss that, so that one should be tasty. So keep a lookout for that. Make sure you guys, there's 85 of you guys, really big numbers today. Make sure you guys are leaving a like on the stream, as my guy Tommy says. I'm gonna be, the derby is one of those matches that, if you lose, especially, you're gonna be depressed. And especially with a gap right now, we need to make sure that we win that one, or at least not lose it. Thank you everyone that's tuned in today. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Ciao ragazzi, and always, Forza Inter. Ciao.